I'm Alice Alexander, and you're with UK Film News at the iconic and stunning Picture House Central. We are here with writer and director Will Nash.
Hello.
Hello. How are you this morning?
Yeah, good. How you doing?
Good. I've been told that you have never been here before.
No, I've been past a lot, and I've had friends who come here, even for like coffees and stuff downstairs. Yeah. But I've never been in. I remember what it was like here before.
Yeah.
It was kind of like it needed a clean up, and they've done like an awesome job with it. It's really cool. Cool. Like it's nice and yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, I absolutely love this place. So I'm really grateful that they actually let us shoot here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Right. Let me think.
How did you get started in film?
How did I get started in film? So, how did I get started? So about over 10 years ago, a focus puller was, hold on, I'll scrap that, I'll say that again. So about 10 years ago, I was invited to come and get some work experience on a TV show called Prime Suspect that had Helen Mirren in it. And I went on that for about a week and just helped out with the camera department, just moving stuff around, making them teas and coffees and stuff, not really having much of a clue of what the camera department did at the time, but just thinking, wow, this is really cool, and like, we're making TV. And then that was while I was at university, and then I finished up about 2 years later at university, and at the same time I was still trying to get bits and pieces whilst balancing uni life.
So you didn't actually study film?
I did study film,
okay.
But with that face, in the like, I always, yeah, well I studied, but like, I kind of think that I probably, in hindsight, should have just stopped studying film and just gone straight into it.
Okay.
Mainly because pretty much everything I've learned has been from on the job.
Yeah.
Like, there's things I've learned from studying film, but I think when you're working in the industry anyway, you're gonna, hopefully, any industry you work in, you'd look at the history of how things have happened before, and how things are made, and sort of directors and producers and films and TV shows that are sort of moving things forward over the years, so you try and look at those. So I think as part of any industry that you're doing, you do things like that. So yeah, I've always kind of thought studying film was maybe a little bit of a waste of time. Okay. Like tiny bit.
I hear that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Hands-on experience.
Yeah, hands-on experience. Yeah, my the course I was doing was mainly theory. There was a tiny bit of practical in the last year. Whereas there are some fantastic university courses where it is predominantly practical, and those ones are better, and there's I think 3 or 4 universities that push on that, which is really good because you're hands-on, and a lot of those will then teach you film stock as well and how to work with film as opposed to just working with digital, which is a huge lesson to learn, I think. Even if you are filming digital, you kind of know in the process of how stuff works on the film shoot. The discipline's a lot different to digital. And if you can bring that across, then you're sort of a lot better. Would
that be something you encourage, like budding filmmakers to take part in?
Definitely, yeah. Incredible lessons, I think, to be learned from that. Also, it just kind of has a lot more discipline on set when you're like that. Whereas with a lot of stuff with digital nowadays, people just seem to keep rolling and rolling and rolling, and there's no cuts going on in between. And it's not that you're worried about missing out on moments and things. It's like the rest. You've got like maybe a 40-man crew.
Yeah.
Just standing by for like a 7-minute take when it's a 30-second thing, and just waiting to do stuff.
I think there's a little bit of a thoughtless aspect to it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, it's fine, we'll just keep running, and don't worry about cutting, and
Any films in particular that have left an impact on you and the way you work? Either the ones that you've worked on, or maybe kind of inspired to?
There's been a few people throughout my career so far that have kind of stood out in how they work. And the technical side of what they do. 2 DOPs that I work with who I loved working with, a French DOP, Jean-Francois Hengens, who I did the first block of the first Tunnel series on Sky Atlantic years ago when I was a trainee. Technically he was amazing at what he was doing, and just, he'd come in with like a torch and a bit of bounce board and just light a whole scene with that and have loads of different filters in front of the camera, and it would, at the time it would look really dark on camera, and then you watch it and you're like, wow, there's so much going on here. And he was just calm and just methodical and thinking about everything. And another great DOP, Andy Hollis, that I worked a lot with, did a lot of TV comedy with, and a few years ago we did a Welsh film called Under Milkwood, and the amount of stuff that we were doing technically with the cameras was incredible. I thought it was so much fun having time to kind of spend tweaking things and putting different lenses and filters and effects on camera as opposed to doing it in post.
Yeah.
We were trying to achieve so much stuff right there so you could see it, so that in post you don't have to give little tweaks.
It's amazing that you mentioned technical stuff. I'll get back to that later.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Your recent, I guess, the work you've been, the projects you've been involved in recently, in particular Ice Cream,
the short film. Yeah.
I know that it's gotten quite a bit of attention, picking up things like Winchester Short Film Festival Awards, the LA Film Review Independent Awards.
Yeah, that was
Film Festival.
Yeah.
What does that mean to receive such acknowledgement for your work? And
it's kind of it's nice, I think. Winchester, I was quite excited about because that was where I went to university, and some of the judges on the panel were old lecturers.
Nice.
So I thought it'd be interesting to see what they thought. And just be like, I make films now, which was cool. And it was an interesting festival to go to. I think it's only been running for about 5 years, so they're still sort of tweaking as they go along. But it was nice to go back to Winchester and back there with something I've made. I've been back there loads socially, seeing friends and stuff, but it's good to go back in that environment. And then LA as well. That was really interesting because I didn't think, because of the nature and what ice cream is all about, it's very British and nostalgic 90s. I was really interested to see if anyone in America would have any links with it or take it up at all. And then to get a bronze award off them was really interesting because it was oh wow, okay, you guys see something in that, even though it's really, really British.
I'm really glad that it got an international appeal to it. So
yeah, it's interesting that, exactly. It is interesting that you could watch other films around the world when you're in England and have an attached to them. But I always think that when you make a British film, it sometimes doesn't have that same sort of reach.
I think for me, I kind of personally relate to that a little bit. Since, a lot of the films I've watched that came from England kind of influenced me to come here.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Oh, brilliant.
So then that takes us to your most current short film. So can you please tell us a little bit about Somatic?
Cool. So Somatic I actually wanted to make before Ice Cream.
Okay.
But when we, myself and the producer on Ice Cream, when we came together we wanted to make a short film together. And we both had two ideas, and we thought instead of picking one, let's put them aside for a minute and let's create a new one. So that then became Ice Cream. But then Somatic was then always playing in the back of my mind of, I just want to get this one done. It keeps toying with me and stuff. It came back to me, and then I just thought, right, I'm going to write it out fully, turn it into, hopefully a fairly decent script. And at the same time I was doing that, production company Upbeat, who were based in Covent Garden, we were chatting over Twitter, and they just asked if I wanted to come in and say hi to them. So went past one day, went in, said hi, and then immediately started chatting about films and short films, the work they do, the work I do. We seem to have a sort of a link straight away, and they just openly said, if you want us to get involved with any projects, give us a shout. So pretty much that evening as I got back, try to finish off Somatic as quick as possible, contacted them and said, look, I'm going to finish this script really soon, but if you guys want to do it. And they were like, they were straight on board with it. And then it kind of snowballed from there, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the concept and what's it about.
So Somatic's it's about an older fella called George Watson, and he's sort of in his later winter years. He goes to it's set in the Second World War. He goes to a military base to talk to a doctor about what it'd be like to relive his life, maybe avoid the mistakes that he made before, and enjoy the things that he did once more. And it's got that real sort of hindsight and nostalgic feel to it that, if you got given a second chance on things, what would you do? And knowing what you did like how would you do things differently? What would you avoid? Again, and he's in the room with this guy, Dr. Robert Briggs, who was based on a real scientist from Massachusetts, Dr. Robert Briggs, who was at the forefront of cloning technology. So we kind of injected him into it as the doctor that he's talking to, and then it kind of develops from there.
And imagine being able to run about outside without a care in the world, ignorant to the world around you. Simply about us as human beings. That's the most important word. Being.
Yeah, I think a few of those things used to play on my mind, especially when I was writing the script. I was trying to put myself in the mindset of George being, I was thinking, right, if I was sort of 30 years older, what things would I be thinking about across the whole of my life, as opposed to things that I think about just from my early years, you know, which is a bit tricky, obviously, because I've not lived those 30 years yet.
Yeah.
But I think they still had like a similar ring to them as the ones that I thought of personally.
Okay. It's really cool that you can actually, like, I guess, use that as a bit of like an inspiration for foresight. Where you're just like, George.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, like, hopefully it will kind of steer me to avoiding making silly decisions. Yeah. But then part of the fun, I think, is always like messing up. You know,
I think a flawless life is.
You can never do it. Yeah. And it'd be boring if you did as well.
It would be very boring.
You know.
I found that there was a lot of filming techniques that you were like experimenting with.
Yeah.
And used stop animation. So, what effects were you attempting to achieve? And in particular to the animation, what are the challenges that you face with that?
With the title sequence at the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was something I'd seen it done a few times in different productions recently, like only one or two. It's not a lot of people have seen stuff like that quite at the moment. But when I saw it, I kind of picked up on it. I was like, that's cool that they've done that. And they've done it in this one as well, and that's really cool. And I was like, how could I do my twist on it? A friend of mine, Chris, is an architect, and so in his early years as an architect, he used to build loads of models for the architects above him. So I just approached him and said, look, we filmed at Ham House. How possible and feasible would it be to make a model of it? Yeah. Because I want to do a title sequence with little models of all the figures, of all the characters and the different sort of scenes. And he just got to work with it, and you know, within a few days was already bringing up designs, and he got really, really heavily involved in it. It was brilliant. And then took it off, got the materials, started laser cutting it all together. That was really cool, seeing you've got this huge like 10 grand machine that's just like laser cutting all these like little windows out and stuff, which was really cool. I mean, it took a while. It took I think about 5 or 6 weeks to make it, and at that point we were close to finishing the main part of the film, but we couldn't really finish it because we needed that bit at the beginning, and you've got to do audio leveling and color grading, and you want it all to match up. So you don't want to start the film and then realise, oh, we've got the colours wrong because it doesn't match up with that.
That's one of the things I noticed, is that it was kind of like a seamless transition.
We try to make it sort of as seamless as possible there, so it wasn't too disjointed, and I didn't want people thinking that, so it's there purposely as a model of the house. It's not like, oh, we didn't have time to film a house so we made a model to try and cheat it. It was brilliant to film with. It was loads of fun as well, actually. Really enjoyed it, and something that I'd love to do again, that aspect of filming models in that way.
In terms of perspectives and stuff that you used, like point of view shots, is that, I guess, the techniques that you picked up from your practical years earlier on at set? Yeah,
a lot of the way that we shot the main film as well is just stuff that I've watched at work and seen what seems to work really nicely and try to avoid things that I'd seen that hadn't worked. And then at the same time, especially with Somatic, trying to develop a bit more of my own style of how I want to film things. Ice Cream was very sort of flat on and forward, and I've always sort of been a fan of Wes Anderson stuff, and I always think, but then there's a danger of just copying his work,
Yeah,
and I don't want to recreate that because people just go, oh, it's like Wes Anderson stuff, and you're like, no, it should look like mine. Yeah, so with Somatic I was like, you know, let's try and move away from what we did a bit with Ice Cream and just make it a bit more dynamic. And because of the tone of what was going on as well, there's a bit more range to be more descriptive with the shots. They don't have to be as straightforward as, you know, they could be. But also the cinematographer we had on it, Tom, was really enthusiastic about how we could make this look different and outstanding. So to kind of have someone like have those thoughts in my head already, and then have someone on board who's going to shoot it that way was really cool, because it's like the two of us starting to gel already about how we're going to shoot it. So there's no like conflict or anything. It's just easy riding and then he just did a fantastic job with how he did it.
Where do you guys plan to take it?
So it's starting hopefully soon, festival route. I'm not sure if I can say which ones yet.
Can I?
I don't know. I don't know what like the thing is.
Just
like
flip you
so definitely want to send it off to Raindance.
Okay.
And then we're looking to the other festivals and start sending it off to other ones after that. But with Ice Cream, I just sent it off to loads of festivals, and I wasn't really too worried about it having a premiere at one or any of this malarkey, because I was like, it's 2 minutes long. I'll just send it off everywhere and see what happens. Whereas Somatic, we've been a bit more cautious in that we want to try and get a premiere at a festival first, which would be cool, and then I guess send it off to other festivals afterwards, or like enter it now for festivals that will happen after that, or I'm not really sure how.
I think when you treat it a little bit more serious and babysit it a little bit, probably has this bigger aspect.
You kind of just want to treat it a bit better than the last one.
No, okay. What are your future ventures? Is there like a feature film that you'd be kind of contemplating in your head? Ideas, writing, directing?
I've got an idea for one in my head that's been sort of lingering there for a couple of months now. For a feature, and I'd really love to do like a short for the beginning of it. That then you could watch independently as a short. But also it's the introduction for the main film.
See, I'm hearing a lot of feature films are now coming up from shorts. So, so it's like it's just not enough to come up with a concept. It's you kind of have to come in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think when we did Somatic, when we were doing our crowdfunding, we made a video to go on the campaign site, but at the same time, that video is like a short for our short.
Preview short.
It's kind of just like a little 2-minute sort of thing of like introducing some of the concepts behind it, and just introducing you to Dr. Robert Briggs. Before you then see him in the main film, so you just get a bit of a background on what he's like. So that's all kind of now stitched together as like one long thing. But yeah, I'd love to do some more, like some proper animation. I really love those old sort of stop motion animations that they used to do. Like Jason the Argonauts, and even stuff like Terminator, like how that was like stop framed, filmed against like back projections, and that would be really cool. It would be cool to kind of then immerse that with 2D animation. So like your back projections were 2D, but your characters in the front are like 3D stop framed.
That'd be weird.
Which would be bonkers of how to do, but that'd be brilliant. And then to use that as a visual concept of then an introduction into like a main feature.
See, I think Somatic would actually either it would translate well into a feature film or like kind of like a period drama type thing. So I think that'd be one that'd be. You could
really cool. You could either kind of go down like a 10-part series thing with it, or have it as a one-off.
The concept in itself just has so much like material in it that you can kind of use. So well done. I hope it actually does ridiculously well. Thank you. I hope it does ridiculously well in the festivals.
Fingers crossed.
I really liked it. Yes. Okay. Anything else that you, I guess, are getting involved in, or anything that you would like the viewers to know?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
We're just taking it chill.
Yeah. No, today, like I'm still doing regular day-to-day camera assisting work on shoots.
Mental,
Yeah. It is a bit mental. Yeah, I just came off one yesterday, and I'm like a bit frazzled from it.
Oh.
It was only 2 days as well. It was just a 2-day commercial, and I was just like, this morning going, oh wow, I needed more sleep. But yeah, I'm still doing that alongside of trying to, because it is really hard just to like stop and go. I don't want to be a camera assistant at the moment. I want to be a director. You can't do that because it's kind of jumping up so many steps in one go anyway. Without hitting the head of department and the camera side, you're kind of doing that. You're flying over there. So I'm kind of keeping the camera assistant going to keep myself going.
On that note then, thank you so much for coming out this early morning.
Pleasure.
On behalf of UK Film News, thank you very much, and thank you to the Picture House Central for letting us, for accommodating this interview. If you'd like to see more of Will's work, it's on WillNashFilms.com.
Yep.
And for us at UKFilmNews.com, I'm Alexandra. Thank you.
Thanks.